Hey, this is the McGuire Review, and we are here at Origins 2018, and Hall A and C is about ready to open up, with tomorrow the full convention hall opening, where we will get a ton of footage of the various new games. We'll do some interviews. It's going to be a great time. All right, see you guys then.
Join the team.
Hey team, this is the McGuire Review, and Bear and I just got back from Origins 2018, so let's lock in and get ready to go. Alright, so we put together a compilation of what you might experience if you went to Origins. We did just get back from Origins 2018. Bear had a great time, and you will see in the video what it had to offer, as well as some different places around town that you might want to go to. So now when we think of a big convention like Origins, there's a lot of things that you want to keep in mind, and that's from having comfortable shoes, having a good backpack that's fairly comfortable, because you probably are going to have some type of bag you'll be carrying around over the course of the day, just collecting various trinkets and or games you might really want to get, because again, these conventions, and part of the fun of attending them, is you will get a lot of these games ahead of time before they're released, maybe at other conventions or into retail. A lot of these games do their initial releases at some of these conventions before they hit retail, and you're able to get those games sometimes well ahead of time, which is always fun to be able to take back to your gaming group or wherever you do your gaming at your friendly gaming parlor or wherever you do your gaming. So you are going to want to have some form of a comfortable bag to come with you, and there's various other things as well. Make sure to bulk up on your vitamins. You don't want to get sick. You're going to be shaking a lot of hands. Make sure to bring some hand sanitizer. Have your food planned out. That's one thing that will save you a lot of time, and Origins does offer a lot of good different places to be able to get food, whether that's right there in the convention center. They got a really nice offering that's downstairs in the convention center. There's a full food court if that's what you're looking for, a really quick meal to go. Or you can walk right outside and right across the street. You've got a great place called the North Market. You've got other places down the street. One of my favorites, the Happy Greek, where you can get awesome gyros. There's all kinds of different things to eat from a food perspective around the conference, and you want to think about that before you go in. You also want to think about parking. Where are you going to park? There are lots on the north and the south side of the convention center. There is another lot that's kind of across from the convention center as well. I do recommend parking in either the north or the south lot, because that will give you the easiest access right into the convention center, and those lots are actually attached in on the convention center, which makes it very convenient if you're able to get a spot. Definitely get there around that 9 o'clock mark. Unless it's a Saturday, it starts to fill up. You might want to get there a little bit earlier. But every other day, if you get there around that 9 o'clock mark, you're probably going to get a parking space and have no problem. So just something to keep in mind as you go to Origins specifically. Some things you want to really think about. Now, you will see some games that we do have here on the table, and there's a lot more than this that's going to be coming out of the Origins conference we're going to be doing reviews on. But here are two specifically, or two different companies specifically. We've got Brotherwise Games as well as TMG here, that we are going to be doing some reviews on. Here's two games they have that do follow kind of that anime style artwork and feel, but they do play out very differently. I cannot wait to get these opened up. We're going to do reviews on both of these. As well as you may already be noticing, here is the brand new Boss Monster. You could call this Boss Monster 3 if you wanted to. It is called Boss Monster Rise of the Mini Bosses. Really excited about this, and this is going to be the first one out of the pack that we're going to be doing a video here coming up very, very soon. As everybody knows that follows the channel, Boss Monster is probably my favorite card game of all time. And then I did pick up the Boss Monster carrying case here. I just wanted to show that they do have these available. And if you do have all the Boss Monsters, you may want to grab this. It comes at a very low price point. It's essentially a little cardboard box, but it's got the Boss Monster artwork on it, and it does come with some extra goodies inside, and it will hold all of your Boss Monster stuff in just one case. It does have a little plastic handle on the top here, almost like a little lunchbox style box. So that's nice. That way, if you do want to travel with your games, you don't have to have all the boxes. I've got the Boss Monster stuff right up here. You don't have to have all the boxes. You can just put it right here in this box. So what we're going to do now is we'll get into the overview of Origins. and see the different interviews we were able to do, some of the awesome new games that we saw at Origins that I cannot wait for, and we're going to have all those games on this channel, hopefully before they do release out in retail, so you'll get a little bit of a preview before it hits retail, and we're pretty excited about that. We're going to have some cool interviews in this video to run us through some of the new stuff that they have coming out. It's going to be hitting in the summer and going into the fall, and it's all super awesome stuff. We're really excited. Bear is stoked about it, I know. So without further ado, let's get into Origins 2018. Now you will see in these first few shots that we were able to gain early entry on Wednesday, so it does look a little sparse in some of these various shots here, but don't worry, Thursday morning it was quite full there at Origins, but you're just able to see Hall A and Hall C, which were primarily gaming halls, were open on Wednesday to come in and do gaming, but you were able to get into various parts of the main convention hall, and we'll see some shots of that here coming up. As you can see, still getting set up. There's the Cool Stuff Inc. still hanging the signs, and everybody's really gearing up for the conference. This again is Wednesday, and everybody's getting ready for that big open for Thursday morning at 10 a.m.
Generics counter that had a pretty short line. Right, yeah. So anyway, pick yourself up some generics. Basically,
Now, what you'll see here is one of those large gaming halls, and you can just see how much space is available for gaming. And team, this is only one. They had two sides for this.
Thank you for playing with me. Do you? Oh, coconut's pretty fun too, isn't it? So our version of the box obviously will be in English, and it'll have a window on it so you
Here we go. This is Gizmos, and this probably is my favorite game of Origins 2018. I don't know, it's a close one between this and possibly Wildlands from Osprey Games, but this game I am super excited about. We're going to hear from Sean a little bit later, specifically on Gizmos, so look forward to that here later in the video. Just such fantastic mechanics, gameplay, the artwork draws you in. Absolutely love the design of this game. It has a little bit of that potion explosion feel to it, but you're sort of creating, you're a scientist and you're creating these gizmos, and I just absolutely love this game. It just has a fantastic theme, and cannot wait until this hits the market.
I want that.
Yeah, but then
they forget.
you want to jump ahead so you make sure you get something done before someone else does, but then you cut yourself off.
I mean, but it's a balance, right? Is
Yeah.
it more worth it to do
Yeah.
that? I mean,
You need to play more.
I think you had. Oh no, you keep
I think it's second place, yeah. So
because I swapped over to a different strategy.
Oh, and I messed up that one round where I really screwed myself by jumping ahead.
Yeah.
I went too far. Yeah, it's not a forgiving game.
No, and literally it does. I'm spending 30 minutes or so because
there's a lot to take in, a lot more than I thought.
Hug them, squeeze them. Everybody wants to hug an elder Josh.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I told him it's less expensive.
Now, I will tell you, these dice that they are making, Dogmite is making, are phenomenal. They're huge D20s, and they got these, various different things embedded in the dice. And then here's a good shot of some of the new dice that they have out there, as well as some of the dice they had on Kickstarter that are made from all kinds of natural materials. And the epic rainbow paint there is phenomenal.
But yeah, if you want to bring your new content on, I'd love to check it out. If you want to do an interview on the site,
So that can happen really quick at the end. But at the beginning, making it easier to acquire resources, even though they're just outside. So normally they're in the box with the stickers and things back. So 30 minutes in.
How's it going? Can I answer any questions for you? You're okay.
No, Chris.
Rude. It is an enchanted spot.
Enchanted.
And like a droid, if you can't keep up with her arithmetic graph, nobody's fault. She's got fireball math. 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4. By the sound of the dice, it's 38. No more. It's my hot game of wine with dragon shirt. My hot game of wine, she's a LARPing flirt. Dodecahedrons for earrings and such.
But there are some negative cards in here, and if one of these cards come up, you'll actually lose one of the other cards that are available to you at the time. So you want to take all the cards and just want to shuffle them up. I'm going to start you as first player, so you get an extra available tea leaf that you can use as a resource. So you're going to take the cards and just put them next to your dragon.
So you choose a direction. So you're the black ship. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you hit these transfer points, these star and asterisk, you can switch orbits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I guess it doesn't matter. I'm getting one. So basically, once none of us can make it.
That's right. Yeah. So, if you don't change vertical position, that's considered a pass.
All right, in just a minute, guys, we're going to demo the brand new Wildlands from Osprey Games, and then we're going to go check out Gizmos from Cmon, which is a really cool new game. Con is great this year. It is expanded in size. We've got 2 large play halls and 1 big convention hall, and it is massive. You can see, as we're looking around here, this is absolutely great. We got climbers over here. Let's swing around and check out climbers. The mighty crystal cast there behind us. We were waiting on the Origins 2018 die to get in. Apparently it got stuck in the truck on the way here, and they are waiting to get those in. Once they do get in, we're going to go over, cash in our ticket, and make sure to get our limited Origins 2018 die. Okay, I am very proud and pleased to announce our next interview here with Christian from Osprey Games. He's been a great friend of the channel, and he's been with us since the very beginning. So now I'm going to let him run us through a brand new one coming out of Osprey Games, and it may be somewhat of a first for them in this genre. It's from a legend in the industry, Martin Wallace. It is called Wildlands, and it's a miniature game. The miniatures look fantastic. It's all card-driven. It's a great, great game. I'm really excited about this one, and this is the one that I would have to say is another absolute favorite from the con, and I cannot wait until it hits retail coming up here in the fall, and we will have this game on the channel as well, and we might even be able to do a giveaway on this one. I'm really looking forward to maybe being able to do a giveaway on Wildlands, and I think it's going to do very, very well, and it's going to be a staple in the industry in this specific genre. So with that, Christian, go ahead and take us through Wildlands and tell us what it's about, buddy.
Hi, I'm Christian Waters from Osprey, and what I'm going to show you real quick is the biggest game we've ever done. This is Wildlands. It's Martin Wallace's first box miniature game, and it's a skirmish war game. And in the box are 20 of these figs. These are all production figures. See, they're about 28 mil. They're ink washed, they'll come that way. And they'll have color bases so that you can identify the teams. In the box are 20, as I said, they're 20 figs, 5 for each of 4 guilds that are battling over treasure locked in a ruined castle. The board, by the way, is two-sided. This is the dungeon side. We have a ground side that adds elevation. The game is driven by these cards. And the way that it works, roughly, the high mechanics of it is, so you have these cards that key to your fig. So here's the fig for the automate, for instance, right? And he has a health of 3. Notice the little symbol on his card. Bring him on the board here. So I could play the automate card when it's my turn, because there's the symbol. I could either play the card to move him, or the double arrows mean that he can shoot arrows 1 or 2 rooms as long as he has line of sight. So if I moved him here, for instance, he could shoot this guy right here. And you can just keep playing as many cards as you need to do your action. You can also go after treasure, let's say. And the way you do that is you move into that square and you have to play 3 of your character's cards to pick up the treasure. Now, of course, what we all know and love these games for is the battles and the fighting. So, and the way that would go, so let's say if I put him here, I'm going to go to attack this guy. But one of the other players could say, or this player's owner could say, no, I'm going to interrupt and play an interrupt card, and then can make an action. He could move his player. He could attack me first. He could do some action, and then it would pass back to me, and you could do that. So if I, for instance, use that, shot him, he could play a card to defend. If he can't, he takes a hit point, can keep playing until they're dead. First player to reach 5 points wins, and that means you either have a combination of picking up treasure or killing your opponents. It takes about an hour to play, 2 to 4 players. As I said, it's a double-sided board. This comes out in October. We'll have our first expansion in November, another whole other guild with 5 more figs and cards, another one in February, and then we're looking for another board in early summer. It's a great game. Because it's Martin Wallace, there's strategy in here you don't even see until you play it a few times. It's just a lot of fun.
All right, we're out here on the lovely streets of Columbus, and we are at my favorite place to eat when I come to Origins, which is the Happy Greek. This place is awesome, and they have probably the best gyros I've ever had in my life. So, world's best gyros. Come to Columbus, eat at the Happy Greek. You won't be sorry. Oh, just got done at the Happy Greek. That is truly the best gyro in Ohio. May I say the universe. Absolutely phenomenal. They have great burgers too. First time we ever got a burger. That was actually really good. But it's the gyros. That's where it's at. All right, we're headed back, and we are going to hopefully demo the new Wildlands, which I am really looking forward to. And then we're going to stop off and talk with our Cmon buddies and see what they've got queued up for the rest of this year, maybe into next. and then probably do some more demos throughout today. It's a great time. It's a great time. Weather's awesome. We are getting geared up for the big Pride Parade, which is tomorrow. These whole streets here will be completely full. See, most of all the restaurants have started to put out their pride flags, and it is on. All right, see you back in there.
Fit that on my head, I'd wear it.
I understand.
That is a polychromatic octopi.
I understand. Maybe you want the hat, I can go take care.
That's.
Are you ready?
I'm getting ready to get funky. Oh, look.
Uh-oh.
She even knows that she's got to ditch the stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Bruce.
One.
Go!
Bump, 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 bump.
Spin.
Woo!
All right, go.
Funky chicken.
Swing, bump, 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 bump. Bump, 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 bump. Swing.
Swing. Bump, 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 bump.
Funky chicken.
Funky chicken. So funky.
All right,
Swing.
All right, we're now going to hear from Sean Jackman. Now, Sean is a really great guy. If you guys have never met Sean, he's always walking around the conferences. He's always there in the Cmon booths. Sit down, have a chat with him. He's a great guy. But he sat down with us and went over quite a few of the new games that are going to be coming out from Cmon. Some of them are already out. Some of them are to come here later this year. One specifically that he's going to run us through is called Gizmos, and I am very excited about Gizmos. I cannot wait until Gizmos comes out. Bear loves Gizmos. I love Gizmos. The mechanics that it has, the artwork draws you in. You feel like a scientist sort of building various different gizmos to help you win the game. It's got a little bit of a feel of that potion explosion from the kind of marble drawing, but they did the marbles in a little bit of a different way. I just think it's a fantastic implementation of a game, and it's really set up for the whole family, and we had a great time with it. Bear could not stop playing the thing. So with that, we've got also Dragon Castle, there is Way of the Panda, as well as Council of Four, Song of Fire and Ice. A lot of these games you could already get your hands on, as well as Sean is going to announce a special Kickstarter release. It's the dates and the details around their next big Kickstarter. So stay tuned for that announcement as Sean takes us through some of the new stuff coming out of Cmon. Sean, take it away.
All right, so this is Gizmos, and in this game it is the annual science fair, and players are going to take on the role of inventors, and they're going to compete to create the best inventions, or gizmos, and prove that they're the best inventors out there. So the way the game works is everybody starts off with the same 4 different actions that they can take. They can either file, pick, build, or research, and those abilities start off fairly weakly, but as they get new different gizmos built, those will go underneath their dashboard here, and then those abilities will get stronger and stronger as they play throughout the course of the game. So now, whenever I build a blue gizmo, I'm also going to get one of these point tokens as well. So these will pile up sort of throughout the course of the game. So here, this one tells me that now whenever I build a red gizmo, I will be able to pick whichever energy sphere I want from the dispenser. And the dispenser here is a very important element of the game. So to build these big scientific inventions, it's going to take a little bit of energy. So each different gizmo that you can build is going to have a certain cost in energy and a different type of energy. So you're going to collect that energy, and it's going to go into your energy ring and wait there until you're ready to do the build action, spending that energy back into the dispenser to build one of the gizmos and add it to your dashboard here. So in this game, what's going to happen is as you develop your engine below your dashboard, each of these actions is going to get stronger and more dynamic. So each turn that you take is going to get increasingly more powerful. And the game is going to end when one player has completed their 16th gizmo, or as you can see, the gizmos are in 3 different levels. So when somebody does their 4th level 3 gizmo, that's going to wrap up the game. This one, we're looking at a August release, so probably around Gen Con, people will be able to get their hands on it. And it's by Phil Walker Harding, one of our favorite designers, and we're really excited about this one. One of the interesting things about Gizmos is that it was one of the first games that Eric M. Lang took under his wing when he became the director of game design at Cmon. And so he really shepherded this game from its early incarnations to kind of the final product you see here. So Eric Lang, of course, has a lot of love for great table presence games, all of his games, Blood Rage, Rising Sun, that sort of thing. He always loves a game that people will see as they're walking by and really be intrigued to learn more about, and Gizmos really does that. So one we're really excited about. So these are 3 of the games that we're really excited showing off here at Origins 2018. 3 titles that have just hit your local gaming store, so these ones are actually available right now. Dragon Castle, it is a very interesting game that plays on the Solitaire Mahjong video game. And the idea of it is that the Dragon Castle is in disrepair, it is crumbling, and players have to take tiles from the Dragon Castle and build a new castle within their own realm. And the hope is that they'll be able to earn enough points and prestige that they'll attract people to their realm to come see the castle itself, and to attract the Elder Dragon as well. So very interesting. It's got a bit of set collection and very straightforward game, but lots of fun there. We got Council of 4, which is our version of the Cranio Creations game, and really excited about this one. We got to give it the Cmon touch, so added our own miniature figures and redid the art on it, and so it is mechanically the same game that people will have played in the past, but certainly aesthetically it is really got a Cmon twist to it, which we're super excited about. And in this game you play a merchant who's trying to set up a thriving merchant network across an entire kingdom, but to do so you got to grease a few palms and make some of the different councils around the kingdom accept your bids to build up different trading posts. So that's a super fun one. And Way of the Panda, this one is super cool. So the idea behind this one is that the land of Zion was once a thriving panda empire, but human ninjas have come in and taken over the land. And so with a new panda emperor on the throne, he wants you to lead your clan to expel the human ninjas and rebuild the land to its former glory. So it is a worker placement game that you have to kind of think about on a bunch of different levels. The action board on it is tricky in that every time you make an action, you're eliminating any actions behind you on the action board. And you also have to have control over the board and send your guards out there to defeat the human ninjas on the actual map. So each of these ones are in your friendly local gaming store right now, and we're excited to have each of them here at Origins 2018 as well for people to try out. So here we've got A Song of Ice and Fire, and this is one we're really excited about. It is a tabletop miniatures game, and we'll be looking at this one releasing fairly soon, probably Q3. It'll be hitting local gaming stores. And what's exciting about this is that it will be an ongoing story that will continue over time. The starter set is excellent because it has everything that two players need to start hitting the battlefield immediately. But also there will be monthly releases from the time that this is released. So new factions, new great houses of Westeros will be entered into play, so people will be able to customize their armies the way they want. So we're really excited about this one coming out, and people can expect lots more information as we get a little bit closer to some of the release dates. People will get to learn about what the next factions they're going to see are going to be, and so that's exciting. The other one I just really quickly want to touch on is Cthulhu Death May Die, which is our next game that's coming to Kickstarter. And I can actually finally announce July 10th at 3 p.m. is the launch date of that Kickstarter. And it is the meeting of two great designing minds, Eric M. Lang and Rob Davio. So just having those two names come together and create a game is pretty exciting for us. But it is set in the H.P. Lovecraft Cthulhu mythos, but they approach it very differently. Many of those sorts of games, many of that literature is based on the idea of an investigation, trying to get to the core of these mysterious happenings. And where Death May Die starts, the players have already done all the investigation. They know what's going on, and in fact, they are already insane. They have already been driven insane by the nefarious dealings of some underground cult. And a ritual has started to bring about an elder god, and all of the players are heroes working cooperatively to not stop the ritual, but disrupt it enough so that when that elder god arrives, it is vulnerable for a split second, and they're able to put a stop to its plans. So, really excited about that one. People can follow along on Cmon.com and the Cmon and Guillotine Games Facebook pages for regular updates as we get closer to the Kickstarter launch.
Okay, that was a 1 in 6 chance of failure, but I lose 3 health. And I wake up in the streets, S9, so I'm going to take another big beating at the end of this turn. Okay.
Attention please, attendees. The exhibit hall will be closing in 1 hour. It is now 5 o'clock. The exhibit hall closes at 6 o'clock. So please start making final purchases. Proceed your favorite vendors.
Oh, that's awesome.
The hall will be closing in 1 hour.
Hi, I'm David Zuckman of Obscure Reference Games, and this is Overlords of Infamy. In this game, you are an evil overlord trying to make everyone as miserable as possible by doing silly things like blanketing the region in glitter, or throttling internet speeds to 56K, building an earthquake generator, rewriting the laws of physics, that kind of thing. It's very silly, very tongue-in-cheek, but there's still plenty of strategy. Not hard to learn though. Basically, during your turn, you're going to be sending your lackeys out, these here, to collect resources for you that you'll need to complete your plots. And as you progress along the game, the plots get harder, but worth more points. And they might also have game-changing aftermaths associated with them. The game continues until a certain number of world events have gone by. These could be good or bad. They could do nothing at all. But after a certain number have gone by, you add up your misery points, and whoever has the most is denounced the winner. That's an overview of the game.
What's up, team? It's now Friday, and we are rounding up our week here at Origins 2018, and another cool place I like to go while I'm here is the North Market. It's right back behind me, and this place has got a great amount of different types of restaurants and places to shop, but it's a really cool place to hit, and it's very, very close to the convention center. So if you don't want to eat there in the convention center, which they do have quite a few food options as well, you can head over to the North Market and check that out too. So we're gonna head over there, maybe get some pasta and maybe some tacos.
No onion.
Okay.
No, thank you. Here we go. All right.
Keep walking, man.
Got the hash browns.
Dos hermanos.
Hello?
Against the villain, Roman Torture. RWBY Combat Ready is a 2 to 5 player cooperative game. Completely cooperative. We are going to be sharing hand-like information, discussing how are we going to defeat this boss. So, one of the things that you have to do is you have to have objectives. You have objective cards that actually dictate different things that are happening in the game. Here, what we're doing is a Grim Onslaught and Fine Swag. So, everything is based on the anime series RWBY from Rooster Teeth Games. But if you're not a fan or haven't watched the series, that doesn't hinder this game at all, because it is basically just a cooperative game setting within their world. So what's going to happen is we are all running as huntresses who are fighting against a villain. This villain is Roman Torchwick. Each of you are Blake Belladonna, Yang Long, Penny Palladina, and Weiss Shi. So, this objective says that we have to put 3 Grim out at the start of each duel. Grim are monsters, soulless beasts. These are going to be face down.
Oh.
And everything in this game is timing based. So when you play things against things, you're going to be comparing speed values to determine if hits occur and who hits and what happens. So when we look at the villain deck, there's going to be a subtle stance that is purple. There's going to be a blue one that's balanced, a red one that is aggressive, and then also event cards, which are green. So aggressive is higher speed typically, balanced is medium, subtle is low. And what we'll do is the game introduces a center stage active player mechanic. Hey there, Tony Galati, Arcane Wonders. I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about Critical Mass. Critical Mass is the newest Dice Tower Essentials line game, coming out towards the end of July. And what we're doing here is we're going to take a look at the 4 different mechs. We're going to have 2 of them out for this quick overview. But we have Patriot versus Iron Current and Raijin versus Archon. And the mech combat is a hardcore, heavy-hitting, mech-on-mech, one-on-one combat. But if you bring them together, you can play teams, or you can play kind of a free-for-all or type battle between people, because there are targeting cards included in each one, so that it allows you to play multiplayer when you do come in. So we're going to look at Patriot versus Iron Current right now. I have Iron Current in front of me. This is already set up for battle. The object of the game is to actually destroy the armor cubes, these metallic cubes, off of the different critical components of the mech. And once all the armor plates have been removed from a critical component, then that critical component is destroyed and a negative effect happens. So what we're going to do here is look at this. The first thing to bring to mind is that each of the critical components, say 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the little shield beside them, that is actually how much damage must be dealt to destroy any one particular shield. So this shield is worth 1 armor. This shield over here is worth 4. So how do you deal damage, and how does this game actually work? So each player is going to have a hand of cards. I'm going to grab this one over here, too. And when I play cards, I'm going to be playing weapon cards, which are red, dodges or evade cards, which are blue, special abilities are purple, and then there's also a green card, which is equipment. If there is any color blindness, it does say right down at the bottom what kind of a card they are as well. The back of each card shows the recommended cards that you play with and how you what ones you should use, as well as customization recommendations. So you can play immediately out of the box, but you can also customize the game slightly to allow different variability as well. Each player is actually going to choose a card, and then they are going to be simultaneously revealed. So, for example, if I were to do this card and my opponent decides to do this card, we would flip the cards, and then we would compare the speed values on top. So I had a speed 3, the opponent had a speed 4, so what would actually happen in this instance is the speed 4 attack would hit me for 1 damage, and then I would be disrupted. Being disrupted in the game is actually being hit so that you don't have any ability. So you hit my arm, it burst it to the side, my laser went off into an arcing direction out into nowhere. You dealt 1 damage to my weapon mount because you couldn't damage anything else. And then these cards would go into the cooldown. Now the cooldown is similar to a discard pile. However, you can't get cards back into your hand until you play your recharge card. Playing the recharge card is what brings the cards back into your hand. So, at this point, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to choose to do this card. Opponent might do this. We would reveal again. And this is the other part. So, this card is an evade. It's a dodge. It did nothing, but because he didn't actually take any damage, this would go back into my opponent's hand. Now, the activate's another very special card. So, during the game, you have a deactivated pile of cards that are all more powerful cards that are systems that are not yet activated in combat. So, what that means is, when you activate, one of two things happen. If you don't get disrupted, you do both things, which is you become primed, and you get to go through here and grab a Tech 2 card. And each card also has the tech listed right on it. So you could go through, grab any of your Tech 2 cards, and add one immediately to your hand. So you could go for a Shock Claw, which is unavoidable, so it can't be dodged. You could go for a bigger weapon. Let's look at this. This guy's big weapons are pretty much the Tech 3s, which we'd get to a little bit later. But you could go for a Pulse Laser, or you could Overcharge, which is a special card that gives you additional speed and firepower bonuses. So you'd go through and you'd pick a card that you want to do, and then put your deactivated pile down. Had I been disrupted, and let's say they used their light laser against me instead of an evade, I would get to do one or the other, become primed, or go into my deck and grab a card. So essentially, after that, you go through, you continue bringing more cards into your hand, and there are a couple key things to think about here. So as you're playing cards, your opponent starts understanding what's in your deck, seeing what you can actually play at your disposal. So you start playing your opponent more than you necessarily are playing which cards you have, just because am I attacking or am I recharging? Am I going at you or am I defending in this case? And each mech also has a lot of different options and different cards that go to do different combos and different playstyles. Coming a little bit later this year towards Gen Con, and it is a $24.99 MSRP per box set. So, thank you.
Alright, hope you enjoyed the video so far. We have saved something very special for the end, and I'd like to cue up Chris. He's one of the brothers from Brotherwise Games, and if you know anything about Brotherwise Games, you know they are all about the Boss Monster. This was one of the games they really came to market with that put Brotherwise Games on the map. Now, they do have some other games that are out there, like Unearth. We've got it right here, as well as some new ones that are coming out here very soon. And there is a new game that he's going to talk a little bit about that was showcased here at Origins. It's really cool. It's a dungeon crawler. It's a D&D type adventure where you don't have to get so deep into the rules. It definitely plays out as a board game / card game, and I'm really excited about this one and can't wait till it comes to market. Chris is going to cue us up on that and talk a little bit about that game. He's also going to share some details on Boss Monster 3, which is formerly called Boss Monster Rise of the Mini Bosses. And you'll see I do have the production version of the game here in the shrink, and I will be popping that open very, very soon, probably today, and starting to go through that, and we'll have a video coming up very soon. So, without further ado, here's Chris to run us through Boss Monster 3 and the brand new game they've got coming out.
Hi, I'm Chris O'Neill from Brotherwise Games. We're the makers of Boss Monster and Unearth, and I'm going to talk to you about a couple new games we've got coming out. In July, we're launching the third full standalone Boss Monster expansion. It's Boss Monster Rise of the Mini Bosses. If you've ever played Boss Monster, you are the boss at the end of a dungeon built out of cards, rooms, monsters, and traps. Your job is to try and lure heroes in, slay them, and capture their souls. Boss Monster Rise of the Mini Bosses adds in, as you might expect, new mini boss cards, which buff rooms, making them more powerful.
I don't think we get anything.
You pay those mini bosses off with coins and promote them with coins, which you generate via other rooms in your dungeon. That sort of create a mini economy that's going on there. There's a lot more player interaction in this one in the sense that you can buff up mercenary heroes, you can pay to capture spells and do things to mini bosses. It's a lot of fun. That launches in stores in July. We're also going to be kickstarting in July Call to Adventure. Call to Adventure is a hero building card game. You start with a hero who has an origin, a motivation, and a destiny. That gives you some starting abilities, and the destiny defines how you your win conditions for the game. So every game is going to be different. When you build that hero, you're doing so facing a set of challenges. Challenges come in 3 acts. The Act 1 challenges are a little bit easier. The Act 3 challenges are pretty tough. You gain traits, you face challenges, choosing paths through those challenges that give you more abilities. It's a little bit of an engine builder where your hero's developing over the course of the game. If you were ever like me as a kid, you love to build Dungeons & Dragons characters, but you never seem to be able to play Dungeons & Dragons, this is the game for you. It's all about building those heroes and building your character up. The really neat thing about Call to Adventure, you don't use dice, you cast runes, so the fates help determine your own fate. This will be kickstarting in July and launching in stores in November this year, we hope.
You filled that, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Yeah, we should. Yeah.
That should have gone down.